Raw 4 TV. What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw 4 TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so let's get to this. So, one of the things that you hear often in today's La Media is how the 90s was trash, that compared to today's skilled era of basketball, which we should be thankful to have lived to watch, apparently. The 90s was garbage. We would essentially what they're telling us is that we felt thankful to watch inferior basketball compared to what they are watching. And therefore, we should be grateful to even be in this era, which is a reflection of their own narcissism at its worst. Honestly, they don't want to take our word for it for having watched it. They're so narcissistic and shallow that we don't know. They know more about our era than we did. That's how bad they are, man. But we all know that that's full of bullshit, and that basketball was just so much more enjoyable, and there were so many stars in the 1990s and 80s and into the 2000s. Hell, this is a reflection of how bad basketball has gotten. Do we really look forward to the draft like we used to? Remember, the draft used to be, especially before the late 90s, the NBA draft used to always be either solid or star-studded. The NBA talent pool has gotten in America, at least, has gotten so bad that the NBA, on top of analytics suggesting they should do it, they altered the game so that Europeans would be more comfortable just coming into this league and dominating it. I mean, because let's look at all the last few MVPs. They all have been born outside of the country since 2019. If that doesn't tell you the state of American basketball, I don't know what else will. But two guys who I think are some of the biggest what ifs in NBA history, and I've always talked about this, have been Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway. Now, Grant Hill is in the Hall of Fame primarily, I feel, because at least he was able to salvage something of an NBA career. Many, many years as a role player. His peak was a little bit longer than Penny's. And, of course, he had a Hall of Fame-worthy collegiate career to sandwich it all together. And I believe he was on that 2000 Olympic team that won the gold medal, if I'm not mistaken, and 96. Or at least he was on the 96 team. No, he was injured in 2000. I think he was on the 96 team. Penny, we were robbed of even more. Knee issues began plaguing Penny, I think as young as 24, 25. And we were robbed of something special. But when we saw that and witnessed it, it was something remarkable. And you've heard me say on this channel that I thought Penny at his prime, if he was able to maintain that level of play, would have been a top 3 all-time shooting guard. Even if he hadn't won a championship. That's how special he was, right? Grant Hill just right there. Grant Hill was LeBron James, But unlike LeBron James, he didn't come with the attitude, the prima donna, attitude, the ego, and he actually did make players around him better. He wasn't playing with super squads in Detroit. I mean, he was playing with an old Joe Dumars. He was playing with Allen Houston before he got traded to the Knicks. He was playing with Lindsey Hunter, Derek Coleman, I believe. He wasn't playing with super squads. He was taking them to the playoffs. An admirer of those two are none other than former ballers Tim Hardaway Sr. and Lindsey Hunter, who, of course, did play, if I'm not mistaken, with Grant Hill with those Pistons teams. And they both said that they would take prime Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill over LeBron Ramon James.
Penny had better defense than both of them.
Yes.
Uncle Dad, let me ask you this:
yes.
Is Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway? You would put them over LeBron?
Yes, in their prime. Yes.
Yes.
I'm taking both of them.
I'm taking both of them in their prime. I see you later.
Get up.
I want to see you leave.
I'm a stay
because you don't even know who cooked Shaq in the '97.
Bro,
He's like, who did that? Hakeem Olajuwon.
But Shaq.
It was actually 95, but still, he ain't lying. These young guys today, man, they don't really know the game, and a lot of these younger guys, they will see a player at the end of their careers and not understand what injury and age does to players. They don't seem to understand that. These guys don't even understand the aging process. Like, these guys will clown somebody for going bald, or they'll clown somebody for putting on age-related weight or getting gray hair. I mean, they have the maturity level of a larva, honestly, and the emotional intelligence of a decaying, iguana carcass. They really don't understand how things work. And, I remember when I was a kid and I saw Larry Bird toward the end of his career, and I used to hear how, commentators and people would talk about how special they were. And, I'm watching them and I'm not seeing this spectacular player. I'm seeing a good player, but I'm not seeing this spectacular player in 1991, 1992 that everyone's raving about, especially during the Dream Team, right? But I knew that he wasn't what he once was. And all it took was doing a little bit of research, reading about him, seeing some highlights, on certain specials. We didn't have the internet like that. We didn't have the internet back then. But I quickly learned, okay, now I see why they're talking about him. I wasn't so arrogant that I just assumed everybody that played in an era was beneath me because it makes me feel better about myself or about my generation or whatever the fuck it is, But Penny Hardaway had the total package, man. Penny could post you up. Penny could score 101. Penny was a terror in transition. He could dunk on you. He had the mid-range. He could facilitate like magic if he chose to. He was a good rebounding guard. Like I said, a playmaker. He could score like MJ if he chose to. Not with quite the athleticism and flair of MJ, but he was close. And the one weakness he had, which was three-point shooting, he was getting better at. But those damn knees. And back then, when you had surgery, it was very intrusive. Today's surgeries, they don't cause as much damage. You're able to recover faster. Back then, the surgeries were more gruesome. You could see the surgical scars. And it took a lot out of you the more you got hurt. And, I could tell by 2000, Penny wasn't the same player. And he was only like 27, maybe 27 years old, 28. And with Grant Hill, he almost lost his life trying to come back. But I watched Grant Hill. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to Penny Hardaway. I mentioned Penny Hardaway was a great defender. He was on the trajectory of being an all-time great, top 20 all-time player, in my opinion, right? Grant Hill would have been a top 20, 30 all-time player. Hell, maybe even greater than that. We were robbed of something special with those guys, man. I was talking this other day with Martavian. As great as our era was, we lost a lot of guys due to tragedies or drug-related, exiles. Roy Tarpley, damn near like a better scoring Dennis Rodman. We lost him. We lost much of Michael Ray Richardson's career due to drugs. David Thompson wasn't able to fulfill his total legacy because of drugs. You have, who else? We lost Drazen Petrovic due to a traffic accident, right? We lost, a guy just 24 hours after he got drafted, Lynn Byers. Then in 1993, we lost what's his name? Reggie Lewis. We lost a lot of guys. Arvydas Sabonis, because of political reasons, reasons or what have you, wasn't able to play for the NBA. We didn't get to see the best of him. So, it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see a lot of these players, which would have made this era of basketball that we grew up watching even better. But yeah, I would pick these guys over LeBron James with no hesitation. I don't care about the championships, because if you give these guys half the talent that he's played with, they'll have won even more championships. That's all I got to say.
Pool TV.